Basketball, you betcha. We are back, ready to give you more information based on what you need to know to be the best basketball player you can be. And I just want to thank you for liking and commenting and subscribing to the page and giving us more and more motivation to put out more information for you to do what you need to do. So today we're talking about how to be the best defender in the world. Yeah, that's right. I said the world. The only thing that you need to know about defense is pressure. How many times have you seen players make shots under pressure? Now, you may say you've seen a lot, but if you really break down the percentages, what percentage is high when it comes to shooting pressure shots? Well, I don't think any percentage is high. I think the percentages are low. And because of that, we need to focus on defense as being more of a skill than the offense. And so what I need you to understand is, how can you be a player that defends and pressures the basketball all of the time? Once you understand this, then you become a valuable asset on the floor for your team. So there's a couple things that I want to talk about. First, I want to talk about fear. You can't have any type of fear when you are becoming a better defender or the best defender in the world, right? So you can't be scared to try things and anticipate, and as people would say, get your ankles taken, get shook, get crossed over. All these things are going to be a learning or a lesson for you to become a better defender. Now, some of you may think that only is going to make you a piece of someone's highlight film, and you're correct, it will. But it will probably only be for 1 or 2 plays, opposed to the 15 plays that they don't show when you're putting pressure on them and they're doing those moves and not making those shots. See, that's what they don't show. They only show the good stuff, but it's a compilation of good things from multiple games. It's never someone getting shook multiple times in one film. So remember that, please. It's key. My second thing that I want to talk about is anticipation. Can you anticipate the move of the player you're going against? See, anticipation comes from understanding the game of basketball, watching the game of basketball, and knowing the similarities that everyone has when making moves playing in the game of basketball. See, we live in a time where it's a copycat society and everyone does the same thing. So when you start to see things develop, you can anticipate better than most because you've seen it on various platforms, whether it's here on YouTube or any other social media platform. So what I want you to understand is that anticipation comes based off of knowing what someone is going to do before they do it. Now, how does that work when becoming a good defender? It goes hand in hand with what I was saying at the beginning of the video, and that is pressure. When you put pressure on someone, you can decide what they are going to do. And once you make them do what you want them to do, then you can do what? Yes, anticipate what their next move is. Now, there's a variation of things that you have to do to make them do that. And a lot of it comes down to what we'll talk about next. And that is going to be angles. At what angle are you going to choose to cut the opposing player off to not only help yourself get in front of them, but also crowd their space, disrupt their rhythm, or just make them overall uncomfortable with what they thought you were going to do or where they thought you were going to end up based off the move that they did. See, all these things when it comes to being a defender is so very important. People think defense is sliding your feet and putting your body on somebody. It's more than that. It's a lot more than that. And that's what I want you guys to understand. Once you break down defense, as I'm doing for you today, it makes you become this person of hunger, passion, and really just intensity, because you know what's coming now and you are becoming this beast on defense. And that's what you want. You want your team to feed off your energy. You want your team to feed off of your passion. And again, being the best defender in the world is one of the hardest jobs in the world. So my question to you is, are you willing to take that job? Patience. Patience is another thing that I want to talk about. Although we talk about this on the offensive end, it's very important on the defensive end, because you have to have the ability to be able to play defense without fouling. And where do most of our fouls come from? Reaching in, trying to get a steal, gambling, and then having to recover, and then being out of control, and maybe you run into a player or something happens in regards to trying to block a shot. All these things put you out of place because you weren't patient. If you follow directions in regards to putting pressure on the ball, anticipating, and taking the correct angle, at some point your opposing player will turn the ball over. Now, not necessarily give it to you. They may hit it off their leg. Someone may come and grab it. They may fumble the ball and then try to pass it, which will be a bad pass. Due to your pressure and your angle and messing up their rhythm, it may cause them to do something where another defender can come over and help you and take the ball away as well. So all these different things that they can run into becomes a problem because of you. So patience is one thing that you have to have, because it's going to happen at some point. And depending on where you're playing, some places have no shot clock, some places do. You may have to play defense just a little bit longer than expected, but just know that that same person across from you isn't going to be ready for you to play defense as long as you plan on doing it. And that is going to make them turn the ball over. Before I get into my other P, which I've already said in the video, being in the best shape possible makes you that much better of a defender. And knowing this, and knowing that people don't train this anymore, this will give you an advantage as time goes on. People are working out daily. Yes, they're doing weights, they're doing basketball, and they're doing some drills that are making them tired. But conditioning is a whole nother aspect of the game. And if you find yourself in that column of being well conditioned, then you separate yourself from the rest. And so what I need you to understand is this is going to help you with everything that we've already talked about. And it's really going to help you with this. Being the best defender in the world if you can pressure the basketball. Now, the pressure that I'm talking about isn't putting your hand in their face. Isn't you moving your hands around, acting as if you're guarding hard. It is in your face, clapping, a little body contact, a little aggression. It may be even a foul that you give to where you let that player know it's going to be a long night. Or a long day, depending if you're playing AAU or not. So what you have to understand is you have to use this skill of pressure to limit the comfort of the opposing player across from you. When people are comfortable, you have to understand that everything flows good and they make shots, even the lucky ones. But when they're not in rhythm and they're uncomfortable, they start to do things that are out of character. And what you have to realize is, with all these tools that I've given you, plus pressure, you will see them break right in front of you, which will make the game a lot easier for you if they're not mentally strong. And not to mention if they're not in shape. So, knowing all of this, please use this to your advantage. Now, I can get into a little bit more detail and talk about percentages. And when you start playing those, that's when the game becomes even easier for you as a defender. Just to give you a quick overview of what I am going to talk about when I do break down percentages, it's going to be all about where players shoot on the floor, what hand a player is, and also the strengths of what they do as far as moves. And so once you understand all of those different things in a breakdown and spots to force them on the floor, you've then become a master defender. And that's all I want you to understand. Basketball U, I hope this video has helped you. And I hope it has given you a little bit deeper insight than what people have told you, other than just doing drills defensively and sliding around and getting tired. I'm here to make you a better basketball player, and this particular skill will give you the ability to get some playing time. So go out there and work on being the best defender in the world. Basketball U, I know you know what to do. But remember, someone's always working. Are you?